Sprout League 2. Today we have another match of the playoffs between Stopdoor in the red and Boulder Wraith in the blue. The winner of this match will be advancing to the semi-finals of the playoffs, while the loser will be eliminated. The options for the vote for the first map are Battle Yard, Halls of Grandeur, Spider's Den, and Concrete Playground. We currently have one vote each for 3 of those, Halls being the only one with no votes. 10 seconds left. Let's see what we get. And it's Concrete Playground. Let the round begin. So it looks like Stopdoor has lost a Pikmin to the Shearwig. Boulder also having a bit of trouble with the Shearwig as it bites him so hard that it takes out 2 hits worth of health. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be significant later on, but it could be. As Boulder is bringing back 16 Pikmin's worth of corpses. Stopdoor is 4 Pikmin ahead and currently bringing back only 4 Pikmin worth of corpses. At least I think it's... No, it was 8, now it's only 4. As Stopdoor is spicying his way to mid. First foray into mid, a spicy. Because Stopdoor is that desperate to be able to win the contest here. But the thing is, Stopdoor is now separated from his squad, has not attempted to split the spice, and has now bittered Boulder's unspicy squad. While putting most of the spicy Pikmin in the first place, not even onto the center marble, but onto the one on his own side. What am I watching? This isn't the Stopdoor I know. Must be out of practice. Must be very out of practice. There's a point. I need to make sure I'm not out of practice against Jib tomorrow. I probably am. Well, despite everything, Stopdoor has been able to send a lot of enemies to Boulder's base. As Stopdoor is going for more cherries. Boulder is able to gain 2 of the marbles from mid. Stopdoor only 1. So Stopdoor will need a marble from Boulder's side. And with Boulder having a spare bitter, it's going to be hard for Stopdoor to take a marble from Boulder's side. Not just with Boulder having a spare bitter, but with Boulder having 6 more Pikmin and being the main active grower right now. Now Stopdoor can send Boulder this... Oh! Boulder gets a bite taken out of him by the Crawmad. Just 2 hits left. Boulder could go down, and that could be how Stopdoor is able... That could be how Stopdoor wins. The easier of the 2 marbles on Boulder's side... Wait a minute. No, that's Stopdoor's side! Boulder is successfully taking a marble from Stopdoor's side! If Boulder successfully gets this marble, then Stopdoor is going to need both marbles from Boulder's side to win! Now here comes Boulder with reinforcements. The Crawmad barely survives. Boulder gives chase until Stopdoor is sure to have gone. So now Boulder is collecting up the cherries, collecting more corpses. Now Stopdoor does have the lead in the Pikmin count. But Boulder has been able to take a marble from his side. So Stopdoor will need both of Boulder's side's marbles. That is going to be very difficult to achieve. It would be very difficult to achieve even without Boulder having the spare bitter. And Boulder having it makes it all the more so. But Stopdoor has no choice but to try. Boulder responds with a counter-spicy. Stopdoor loses control, dismisses his entire squad, which gets full bittered as a result, and it is over there and then. Boulder 1, Stopdoor 0. So, map voting now for the second map. Where will we be going? We'll find out once the participants have placed their bans and then the vote has concluded. Well, in come the bans now. That's 3 out of 6. Alright. This time the options are the Amphitheater, Emperor's Arena, Bottomless Sewer, or Rusted Ring. Boulder, despite having just won on Concrete Playground, has banned it, so we will not be going back there. Stopdoor has voted for Emperor's Arena, while Boulder wants to go to the Amphitheater, or Rusted Ring, doesn't mind which. Time's up, and Emperor's Arena is the pick. This is the one Stopdoor wanted, but can he win on it? We will find out once Stopdoor has realised that he needs to hit ready again, which he now has. Let the round begin! Some players try and go for a 5-and-5 split between the pellets and the shear grubs. While what we've seen both of these players do is throw them all onto the pellets and then just punch the shear grubs. And throw Pikmin on only once they've returned from collecting the pellets. I'm not sure which method is better. I think this one might be. And now Stopdoor is going to go for this dwarf. And this has now woken up the big one. Which Stopdoor will need to keep his Pikmin there away from. Now retassing them onto the Bulwarp, which is now turning around. Both Stopdoor and Boulder attempting the kill with the meta method. At the same time, Stopdoor loses one Pikmin doing it. Boulder does not lose a single Pikmin. Although Boulder does now lose a Pikmin to the dwarf. And is now clearing out all the other dwarves that could pose a threat. Stopdoor doing something similar, but with far fewer Pikmin behind him. And he loses another Pikmin here. It's 29 to 29. Both players just waiting for everything to come in. Before making the next moves. This will be enough to get Boulder to 50. Well, to 49, actually. Stopdoor also already on 49. So we would expect Stopdoor to be first to mid. Stopdoor knows he's going to be first to mid, and Spicy is well in advance to split across 1, 2, 3 marbles. And the fourth will be the one he's already collected. Even if Stopdoor only gets 2 of these center marbles, he's still got 1 more on his own side. And to give Boulder even more to worry about, he's intercepting the one on Boulder's side that Boulder's trying to dig up. Wait, yes, that is the one on Boulder's side. But it's too late! Stopdoor's already done it! From an embarrassing failure to a commendable success. Stopdoor 1, Boulder 1. Even the best players can have their off rounds, and even the worst players can have their good ones. The outcome of a single round does not necessarily tell you a lot, if even anything, about how the rest of the match will go. Especially not this early on. Bulman Grotto, Frozen Forest, Halls of Grandeur, and Boulder Basin. These are the choices for the third round. Three, 2, 1, 0. Bulman Grotto it is. Let the round begin. Both players finish plucking with their initial, finish growing with their base pellets and shear grubs around the same time, head out around the same time. But who will get more out of the first trip? It seems Boulder's lost a Pikmin to the burrow net. There's the center marble. The main fight here is actually over the cherry that was at the center marble's position. And Stopdoor is getting three of Boulder's Pikmin fed to that Bulbmin, while ensuring that all of these corpses make it back home for himself. But the last bullet of the stun storm hits Stopdoor directly. That will not deter him, however, as Boulder is still in the process of growing just to 46, as Stopdoor is well on his way to having fully plucked 50. 47 out of 50 currently on him, the other 3 busy somewhere. Yes, busy with the center marble, which Boulder is trying to block Stopdoor from being able to reach. Unsuccessfully, it seems. Now this Bulbmin is going to wander in, and Stopdoor better be ready for it. So far, it's mostly eating Boulder's Pikmin, but this could change quite quickly. Because Boulder isn't here, Stopdoor has secured this group of Bulbmin, and now there is a second over there that he can get pretty easily too. But, well, this would require him first of all to... Okay, yeah, no, I don't think he's interested in that right now. The Stopdoor has decisively secured the center marble and the first group of Bulbmin. But now it's Boulder's turn to be first out. I think he'll need a spicy to be able to get good value out of this trip. There's a group of Bulbmin, the second of the 3 on the map. He's having a bit of trouble with them, it seems. But he does finally get them under control. Boulder is opting not to spicy here, knowing Stopdoor is too close. So what is his plan? He retreats. And Stopdoor takes the opportunity to spicy first. A very successful split. About half the squad is bittered. And Boulder puts his entire unspicy squad to the task of intercepting this marble. Not only has this failed, but all the Bold men are permanently dead. Boulder stands no chance from here, and he knows it. Stopdoor 2, Boulder 1. Rusted Ring, Spider's Den, the Amphitheater, and Boulder Basin. Boulder Basin? How many times has Boulder Basin come up now? Okay, I don't know why I feel like he's come up every single time, but it's only actually come up this time and the last time. Well, Spider's Den is where we're going now. This could see a reversal of Stopdoor's fortunes. Or alternatively, it could see a further continuation of them. We'll have to see. Well, lucky for Boulder, Spider's Den is not a particularly race to get multiple marbles from the same spot in mid map. The marbles are pretty fairly distributed, even on the most linear of the three. So, let the round begin! Once again, it seems like Stopdoor has a slightly quicker opening. But these Dweevils could change everything. Especially that Dweevil. Those Dweevils. Now, if Stopdoor plays this right, he is not playing this right. I was going to say, if Stopdoor were to play this right, he could use the volatile Dweevils to take out the anode Dweevils, eliminating a large part of the headache he would otherwise have. But now it seems Boulder is rapidly on the scene, trying to steal Stopdoor's corpses. Boulder is determined as ever. No, Boulder is particularly determined, given his 2 back-to-back losses to Stopdoor, to reverse course. And that will require a more aggressive playstyle, in his opinion, and I'm inclined to agree. That said, he has just lost 9 Pikmin to a single attack of the Anode Dweevil. There's a reason they put signs not to play with electricity. Although in this case, it's the electricity that's playing with him. Stopdoor is seeking to make up for this loss of the field by taking up a position in mid, which is going quite well for him, actually. He's got 2 corpses out of here, and a marble, with no resistance from Boulder whatsoever. Of course, Boulder's ability to resist was diminished quite a bit by losing 9 Pikmin to the Anode Weevil. The Anode Weevil he is now picking up. Boulder's at 34 Pikmin and will be at 39 with that Weevil, as Stopdoor is about to hit 36. While Boulder is otherwise occupied, Stopdoor is seeking to get more done here in mid. But Stopdoor has run to the spot where the BD can be summoned. Ooh! Stopdoor successfully, I'm not sure if intentionally, but successfully, even if unintentionally, manages to bait the bitter from Boulder. Boulder goes to try and bitter the whole lot from underneath the ledge, but only ends up getting a small number of them, as most of Stopdoor's Spicy is still very much active. Now, the BD must be kept in mind, and so must the Dweevils. Stopdoor is not keeping the Dweevils in mind. As a result, 6 of his Pikmin have just drowned. 7! No, yeah, 6 Pikmin have drowned. This has allowed Boulder to gain control of the field, as Boulder has a significant Pikmin advantage over Stopdoor right now. This is only going to go one of 2 ways. Boulder's way or the Dweevil's way. And it looks like it's gone Boulder's way. At least for now. This has allowed Boulder to claim the 3rd marble from this room. There's only 1 left. If Boulder gets it, the marble counts will be equalized, and then it will be to the corners. But if Stopdoor can secure it, Stopdoor will be in a very strong position. Now even more of Stopdoor's Pikmin are expected to drown, as Stopdoor will not be able to reach them in time. That's 8 more down! With Boulder now being up to a Pikmin lead of 11, to be grown to 16 with that Weevil in. With such an overwhelming advantage, Boulder can just waltz on in and take this marble. With no resistance or repercussions whatsoever. There's nothing Stopdoor can really do, except getting desperate, Stopdoor goes for a base rush with 12 spicy Pikmin, but the very Bulbul Stopdoor just summoned to Boulder have been eating his own attackers. As a result, the Pikmin pose no real issue to Boulder, but this Dweevil might. It takes out 6 Pikmin, which are all regrown anyway. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, that's a great point, Zian. For a moment then, I got it mixed up and thought that, the Bulbul is sent to the Onion and not to where the player is. So it made it look like Stopdoor's the one who sent them. But yeah, I'm now inclined to agree with you. I think it was Boulder that sent them. I'd have to go back and watch the recording to make sure, but I think you're right. Well, there goes the Anode Weevil doing Anode Weevil things again. Takes out even more of Stopdoor's Pikmin, bringing him down to just 12. And at this point, Boulder outnumbers Stopdoor more than 3 to 1. I do not see a path forward for Stopdoor here. He already made the desperate last-ditch play. He doesn't have any spices left to do any more. And a spicy is exactly what he would need in this situation. At this point, he's just hoping cherries can give him something useful. But I think at this stage it's too late. The question must be asked, however, of the location of the last marble Boulder needs. Now Boulder is using his first spicy to fight the beady! Does he think the last marble is inside it? Or is he just doing this to flex the overwhelming advantage he has? Given that he awaited eagerly a marble that never came, I do think Boulder thought the last marble would be there. And now he's just walked straight into a full bitter from Stopdoor, followed by a Pluckaphone. Now Boulder is going for an unspicy distraction rush. A Stopdoor has a full stack of cherries. It becomes apparent to Boulder that the last yellow marble is in one of the corners. Stopdoor, however, seems to have too few Pikmin to meaningfully resist. As a result, he's trying to get a large number of Boulder's Pikmin electrocuted, but Boulder has stepped up to save the Pikmin. Now Stopdoor is using his Pluckaphone to try and recover some Pikmin to stop this marble from being stolen. But Boulder is well prepared for this too, blocking most of them from being able to reach the marble. Now Boulder gets the heist back on. Will Stopdoor be able to pluck enough Pikmin to get them there in time to reverse this steal? The answer, I think, is yes. It hasn't crossed the halfway point, and Stopdoor's already on it. He saved the marble, at least for now. And I think it would be unwise of Boulder to try and do this again. He should just focus on the final yellow marble. Boulder immediately spices after plucking all the Pikmin, and locates the final marble. It's right there for the taking. If the marble was further away, I think you two would have had a point. But as it stands, the score is now Stopdoor 2, Boulder 2. Well, this time we have Battle Yard, Halls of Grandeur, Concrete Playground, and Bottomless Sewer as options. Boulder votes for Concrete Playground, having won on it in the first round. Boulder also votes for Halls and Battle Yard. Everything except Bottomless Sewer, which is what Stopdoor wants. And Concrete Playground is the pick. Let the round begin! So it looks like Stopdoor this time is the one with the lead in the opening. Those shade grabs are taking quite a while to all make it back for Boulder. But now Stopdoor insists on fighting the Crawmad. I mean, it is in the way. It's not always in the way, but it is this time. The one Pikmin for Stopdoor drinks all the nectar. We've seen this many times before, but I always find it funny and annoying, but mostly funny. Except when it happens to me, and then it's mostly annoying. Stopdoor has the technique down for dealing with snitch bugs. As down goes that one. Yeah, once again, this is one of the things I asked Trout about, but they refuse to implement it. Well, it looks like both players are at 50 or very close to it. But I think Boulder is going to be able to make it to... Oh. Stopdoor insists on getting to mid first with only 44 out of 49 Pikmin, whereas Boulder waits to get the full 50 before heading out. Boulder is planning on using the seesaw blocks to his advantage, as Stopdoor comes to keep his squad at bay. But this was a ruse. That was only a minority of Stopdoor's total squad. The rest are hauling back marbles and corpses. It's going to be difficult for Boulder to match this play of Stopdoor's. He's certainly still going to try. He has many more Pikmin here now than Stopdoor does. And he's hoping he'll be able to get away with this marble before Stopdoor can intercept it. He may just be right. I think he is. I think he's been able to pull it off. Now, Boulder needs to be careful not to have his own marble dug up too much. But now, while Boulder is busy plucking back to his full strength, Stopdoor takes the opportunity that Boulder has left him. Well, tries to. The Pikmin he threw up here do not seem to be cooperating, giving Boulder an opening. I'd say it's slightly more than half of the Pikmin bittered, but Boulder can get a similarly good bitter here. In the end, it's hard to say whose was better. But I think right now, Boulder has the advantage. You better make sure he can hold on to it, however. Ooh. Ghost power-up might give Boulder a slight edge here. Stopdoor no longer has Boulder's half of the screen to use to locate Boulder's Pikmin. So he's having to just guess their positions. It looks like the fight went to a stalemate. The marble isn't moving. This means Boulder can safely continue his focus on plucking, which he is well ahead of Stopdoor on. At this point, I think this game is Boulder's unless he screws up somehow. Yeah, look at that. Those two marbles right there for the taking. Boulder already going for them with the spicy, while Stopdoor is still plucking. It's over. Boulder 3, Stopdoor 2. A strong start from Stopdoor. Very strong start. But he succumbed to his own hubris. As strong as his start was, he thought it was even stronger, and that misjudgment allowed Boulder to claw it back. Combine that with some very effective spray usage from Boulder, and you get what we saw just now. Deep Blue, Spider's Den, Frozen Forest, or Citadel of Steel? What will the next map be? Boulder and Stopdoor finally, for once, agree on a map. They both want to go to Frozen Forest. But it's the other ones they want to go for where they still disagree. As Boulder no longer wants to go to Frozen Forest. We instead get a return to Spider's Den, which Stopdoor voted for. Let the round begin! It seems Stopdoor wants a run back of Spider's Den, given that he lost on it the first time. Almost entirely due to all of the Pikmin that kept getting killed by the Dweevils while Stopdoor was unable to save them. I think he intends to be a lot more vigilant about that this time. Stopdoor knows that he generally has stronger openings than Boulder. This is something he will need to be able to reliably exploit. There's the Caustic Dweevil. The Caustic Dweevil always favours the blue player, so Boulder has a slight advantage here. One Pikmin was blown up by the Volatile Dweevil, but that Pikmin, being in the process of drowning, saved it from being blown up. So if Stopdoor had managed to avoid that other Pikmin being blown up, he would not have suffered any losses. Both players are suffering an unusually large number of losses to the dwarves. But Boulder seems to be slightly ahead. Here's the beady. As Boulder is trying to make sure these corpses can make it past its feet. Boulder's trying to keep his Pikmin away from the feet, which Stopdoor is not able to do right now. And so it is mostly, if not completely, Stopdoor's Pikmin who are dying to the beady right now. The Pikmin counts are very similar, but Boulder has better control of his squad currently. Boulder is using some time to flower up, but I don't think he has that time, and he now doesn't think he has that time either, so he gives it up at least for now. His priority? To meet and engage Stopdoor's squad and prevent him from being able to go for any easy marbles. Stopdoor is the first to return to base. Boulder only does so quite a few seconds later. So Stopdoor, it seems, will have the lead on the plucking and be first back out. And as we've seen in multiple of the rounds so far, that is a lot bigger an advantage than many people would like to believe. Once again, the squads clash unspicy. Stopdoor begins to dig on this marble, but the marble is closer to Boulder. Both players call the diggers off. Then Stopdoor calls them back on and returns to base, while Boulder sticks around trying to intercept the diggers before returning to base himself. Or not. Boulder tries to get Stopdoor's Pikmin distracted by the beady before returning to base finally, ensuring that this marble will be his. But at what cost? Potentially, not much of a cost, given how many times Stopdoor has been picked up by the bumbling. But now Stopdoor has finally finished plucking, as Boulder is just about to. And Stopdoor is, by a slight margin, first out. Too slight to make any real spicy plays here. And so Boulder is once again able to force an engagement. This time the target is the corpses. Boulder wants these corpses to get a decisive advantage in Pikmin numbers over Stopdoor, so that these constant engagements no longer end up being stalemates, but instead victories for Boulder. That way he can finally get some real progress made. But he's taken so long to achieve this, that Stopdoor will be first out by a large margin. And that means Spices may be about to enter the equation. No, Stopdoor has taken too long himself, trying to equalize the numbers. That's been his priority, and I don't blame him for that. It's not necessarily a bad thing. As once again, it seems to be an interminable stalemate. Well, not interminable, it must terminate at some point. If this back and forth keeps going on for 4 more minutes, Boulder will be the ultimate victor, given that he has been able to secure 1 marble. And I think Boulder would rather keep things that way. Bomb Storm forces Stopdoor out of the base early, with only 42 of his 48 Pikmin. Or not, it just slightly delays the plucking of the other 6. And this is the moment Stopdoor chooses to thwart Boulder's stalemate plan. A spicy across 3 marbles, a very greedy move. But a very effective one, too. Now, what Stopdoor must ensure is the opposite of what just happened. What Stopdoor needed to ensure was that he didn't get enough of his Pikmin in one place for them to all get bittered, but that is what happened. And then what did he do? He bittered Boulder's unspicy squad. And so Boulder is now using that free spicy to steal from right under Stopdoor's nose one of the marbles he worked so hard to get. Stopdoor is going to need 9 Pikmin to secure this. Or, well, 5 if the spicy runs out. He's hoping 7 will be enough. And I think 7 will be enough. Yes, 7 seems to be enough. But what Stopdoor may have just given Boulder is the chance to be first out. The very thing Stopdoor used to his advantage. So he knows how powerful it can be. One marble left for Stopdoor, 3 for Boulder. As Boulder loses 4 Pikmin to the Beady. And with it, his Pikmin squad size advantage, only for the reverse to happen, as the deployment of that sticky bomb from Boulder results in Stopdoor losing far more Pikmin than Boulder did. And now Boulder is the one with the squad size advantage of 8. The second bomb now goes off, and Boulder has an even larger advantage of 9, despite the fact that this was Stopdoor's sticky bomb. $16 Pikmin to 25. And the same number of sprays for each player. Stopdoor is either going to need lots of good luck or perfect timing. He has 2 more marbles than Boulder, but insufficient means at this stage to take the last one. Boulder knows he must not allow Stopdoor to take a single marble uncontested, because that will be game. Luckily for Boulder, he has ample means to achieve this objective. Almost double the Pikmin, enough map control to keep taking cherries that Stopdoor desperately needs, and if all else fails, another spicy to count on. Speaking of spicies, I think Stopdoor is thinking of using one at some point. Or not. Stopdoor goes for a long-distance interception of a corpse while Boulder is present and easily outnumbers him. Setting up Boulder for the perfect opportunity to base rush. Now Stopdoor doesn't have any bitters left, he is utterly defenseless. And the result is predictable. Boulder 4, Stopdoor 2. This is it. Boulder will be the winner of the match, and our first semi-finalist if he can win this next round. Stopdoor, meanwhile, to achieve the same, will need to win 3 rounds in a row. Decayed Garden's the pick. Good luck to both our participants. Let the round begin. Now, if I remember correctly, Decayed Garden was one of the maps that back in the first Sprout League, Stopdoor was able to beat me on. I'm not sure whether that says more about me being bad at Decayed Garden, or Stopdoor being particularly good at it. But I think it's perhaps a little bit of both. Anyway, I think Stopdoor is probably favoured to win this one. No bomb shenanigans Boulder can exploit. And a relatively open, straightforward map, the kind Stopdoor likes. Already, both players seem to be making good use of everything available to them. Not that there's much, but there's some. Including lots of cherries. Stopdoor's grabbing them all up. But he's got to make sure they all clear the geyser. And so far, that is what they're doing. 1, 2, 3 cherries. And 16 Pikmin worth of corpses. Stopdoor will be at 36 easily. And Boulder is soon to hit 40. That is, of course, assuming Stopdoor could not hold him up enough to outdo what Boulder's done. But so far, this has not happened. As not only has Boulder now hit 40, he's set to get to 44. Stopdoor attempts to dismiss on the geyser, but misses it once, almost twice. Grabbing up more cherries this time, utilising the ghost power-up. Begins an unspicy dig with a bubble slightly on his side. Trying to grab up all these corpses to make sure Boulder can't get one. Decayed Garden is a map that favours corpse steals as a tactic quite a fair bit. I know Rain used to do it against me a lot whenever we played on Decayed Garden. But Boulder is understandably not having it. He wants his corpses and he wants them now. Boulder just about fails to save that Pikmin. But he takes the cherry all the same. It looks like Boulder's attempt to counter Stopdoor's monopolization of the corpses has succeeded tremendously well. Stopdoor is still on the 36 he has been on for quite some time. He'll be at 44 with these two, but Boulder is rapidly on course for 50. Actually, no, I think only 47. But still, 47 is more than 42. Which is why I'm wondering why Stopdoor has rocked up to Boulder's base with 23. What is he doing? He's just putting himself completely out of position. He doesn't have the means to stop Boulder from taking cherries, corpses, anything. I say this is a massive misplay. Yes, this may have netted Stopdoor a marble, but now Boulder is spicing across 2 more. I think this severe misjudgment may have cost Stopdoor the whole round. And that's saying something, because I initially had him down to win. I would have thought this would be one of Stopdoor's stronger maps. At least relative to Boulder. That said, Stopdoor does actually have more Pikmin than Boulder does right now. And because Boulder's collected one more marble, the cherries are spawning on Stopdoor's side. It is still possible for him to turn this around. He opens with a spicy. He needs to split. He splits. Oh, Boulder goes for the combo. Barrier followed by a bitter. A very effective answer to Stopdoor's plan. But because Boulder answered Stopdoor's still partially spicy squad with an unspicy one that is itself smaller anyway, Stopdoor will win, and indeed has won this contest. An investment that large into a marble that was on Stopdoor's side anyway certainly does not say anything good about Boulder's chances. But what doesn't say much good about Stopdoor's chances is the fact that he just lost 3 of the carriers to a geyser. And so the Pikmin counts are equal once again. Although saying that, Stopdoor does have a spare bitter. And the cherries are still spawning on his side until that marble comes in. Boulder understands the gravity of the situation and activates his final spicy. A decent bitter from Stopdoor. Could be better, but could also be a lot worse. But I think Stopdoor is going to get from this what he wants. Or at least, what the main stuff he actually needs. Boulder really does not want this to come to pass, so he is throwing everything he can at that marble, but it is not going well for him. With little in the way of options at this point, Boulder is gunning for the cherries, hoping that they will save him. It's now 3 marbles to 3. It now comes down to the decisive contest for the final marble left on the map. 4 of Boulder's Pikmin, 6 of Boulder's Pikmin immediately getting chopped down by the bulb of larvae is certainly not a good sign. You know what else isn't a good sign? Stopdoor using his final spicy to make it to the marble. Boulder has a bitter which he can use to counter this, but Stopdoor also has a spare bitter himself. Boulder attempts to bomb. But the bomb kills more of Boulder's own Pikmin than Stopdoor's. We see the barrier bitter combo again. Actually, no, the bitter's already been used. No, this is the barrier bitter combo, it's just the bitter was used first. But Stopdoor still has the squad size advantage, and now the proximity advantage too. This is Stopdoor's game, right as I predicted at the beginning. Stopdoor may have made quite a large misplay at one point, but he was more than able to recover. Boulder 4, Stopdoor 3! Here we have the bands. And here we have the maps. Spider's Den, Warbox, Bottomless Sewer, or Champion's Court? Which will it be this time? Boulder wants to go to Warbox. Or Bottomless Sewer. Well, Spider's Den is Stopdoor's pick. Looks like Boulder is no longer interested in those two, and would rather go to... well, would just rather do a full random. In the end, it is a full random, and it chooses Battle Yard. Alright, let the round begin! Stopdoor has managed to close that gap quite a large amount. Boulder still needs to win this round to win the match. But Stopdoor has reduced the number of rounds he needs to win from 3 in a row to just this one then the next. If Stopdoor wins this, it will once again be fully anyone's game. But it would be a real shame for it to get to 4-4 and then Boulder ends up winning. A real shame for Stopdoor, that is. Now, the thing about Battle Yard, as I said last time Battle Yard was played, is there are so few corpses on the map that the only way one player can get to 50 is by taking corpses from the other player. If both players take the same number of corpses, then I believe on 2 of the layouts they will only go to 44 each, and there's one where it will only be 36. However, this is one of the 44ers. Now, the thing about this layout in particular is one of the corners has 4 marbles and the other has 3. So if you ended up heading to the wrong corner, you could be in for quite a bad time. It seems Boulder is at the 4 and Stopdoor is at the 3. However, neither player at this stage has enough Pikmin to really make the most of either of those corners. So it's still very much up for grabs for both. Boulder hops over the ramp and is going for a Battle Yard classic, a Corpse Raid. But Stopdoor is prepared to deal with this. Now Boulder's the one on the defensive, trying to avoid Stopdoor corpse raiding here. Boulder cuts his losses and returns to base. And Stopdoor decides not to give chase after that corpse, given how far along it's made it. He decides to focus on this corpse, the one he was initially defending. Boulder will hit 43 and Stopdoor 40. There are some cherries in that corner over there. As we see the first Great Clash, which Boulder is favoured to win. Boulder uses the camera to keep tabs on that marble. It's making its way for Boulder, who is now just Spicy'd. Stopdoor bit us, I think, about half. As Boulder is undeterred and gets on with the operation. Now Stopdoor is counter-spicying, which Boulder hasn't bitten yet. Perhaps he's confident that with this proximity advantage he won't need to. He's right! Boulder has been able to tank this spicy and end up with a spare bitter, and the marble's still making its way. This puts Boulder in a very strong position. Now Boulder rules the field. He can take whatever marbles he wants. He starts with his third, and Stopdoor gives up. He realizes just how big an advantage he gave Boulder in that instance. And he realizes that his time is up. With a final score of 5-3, Boulder has won the match! This makes Boulder Wraith our first semi-finalist. While Stopdoor is eliminated from the playoffs. At least he made it. We will be having another match tomorrow between Jib and myself. And I really don't know how that will go. I think I want to get some practice in at some point. I mean, I've still got this assignment to finish, but I should get some practice in at some point. I think the match probably favors Jib if I don't. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Until then,